Hi folks, this is Scott Grove coming to you again. This here is my advanced acoustic guitar video. Now by advanced, this don't mean this is going to be the hardest one we've ever done, but it's going to be close. Now if a lot of you guys are coming in here and buying this one just because you think you've already got a few things down and you can just skip right ahead to this, let's find out real quick. I did offer my acoustic guitar beyond the basics video. It is still available. If you skipped over it, you missed a whole lot of things. So this video starts off where that one left off. If you can already do all this stuff, okay, then you're probably going to be fine to go ahead and get this here video and work on this. I also had a right hand picking techniques video. If you skip that on it, let's see, if you know this stuff, you can go ahead and watch this one. And also if you know how to pick like this. Or okay, as long as you are beyond being able to play stuff like that and we're getting ready to learn some more stuff, you feel comfortable that you know how to do all that stuff, that's where this video picks up at. Okay, so on this video what we are going to actually learn is everything beyond that. Okay, we're actually going to get you into playing stuff like if you're in the key of G, stuff like that. We'll also be teaching you bar chords, finally, for on acoustic, for playing things like this. Okay, also within the same vein, using those bar chords, if you are into country music. Yeah, so we're going to be teaching you that kind of stuff too. And all kinds of other things. We'll be teaching you stuff to embellish what you already know if you're playing in a straight C. All this stuff is from the Acoustic Beyond the Basics video. But you need something else to play there. So now we're going to be able to go. We'll be able to throw things like that in. Okay? And we'll also be able to throw in some blues. These type of ninth chords. Okay? So coming to you from me and Mr. Gene Simmons and Mr. Paul Stanley here. And yeah, my hairdo. I woke up with a 70s flashback. So anyway, I took a pill. I'll wear off before too long. I'll be back to normal. Anyway, grab this video here if you're ready for it. And we're just going to take you on an amazing ride and teach you all the cool stuff that is left to know about playing acoustic guitar and let you start mastering this thing. Anyway, once again, I'm Scott Grove. Grab this video if you haven't now. Get ready, man. You guys are in for a wild one. We'll see you right after these messages. Hey, folks. Just wanted to play with your minds a little bit. Anyway, this here's about all you're going to see of me. If you've had any of my videos before, you know. So for about the next hour, you don't get to see this pretty face. Ah, gosh, I feel for you. Anyway, what we're going to start off with is in the key of G. Okay, what we left off in the Beyond the Basics video. You know how to play G's, you know how to do things, you know how to move some fingers around. You've been through all this. We're going to pick up from there. What we're going to start off with is this kind of a lick. It's something to play that I did a lot at the beginning, is this. Okay, so to finish it out, I would actually... Okay, it's a very cool lick. You can use it on all kinds of things. We're going to be able to expand on this lick. You're playing along. You can just chop it in half, do part of it, like this. So you just pick bits and pieces. But here's how we actually do it. It's one of the simplest licks around. Okay? These are all what are called pull-offs. Okay? So we're going to start on the high E string. Okay? We're going to play the 3rd fret with our ring finger, 2nd fret with our middle finger, all the way down. So here's what we've got. We pick it once, pull it off, and then pull that one off to open. So you got 3, 2, 1. You're actually picking that string as you let off each one. So your fingers here, when I pull off from this first note, I pick it, then I pick it again with that finger. Okay, I'm over exaggerating it because it's actually easier than this. It will take a while for you to get this down. That's why you practice. You can pause it here in about 30 seconds and actually get this thing down. It'll probably take about an hour to actually get this down correctly. So you're only using your pick one time. And that's what we're doing all the way on each string. Every string the exact same thing. Okay? So I'm going, same thing, you hit each string one time. Then we move to the next string. Then we finally just end on the G. We don't do the, because we just stop on G. Okay? So again, that's the whole lick. Okay? Now, as far as the phrasing goes, you may only have time to put part of it in, but it's totally up to you how much of this you want to put in. So you've got something playing along. I'm just playing around in the middle of it until I want to get out of it. Now, that's as easy as it is. Okay, so you just mess around with it however you want to. You can go in and out of it, backward, forward. Whatever suits your needs. But that's one of the coolest licks that has, it sounds like you're doing a ton, but you're really not. It's just, and so it just sounds like it's flying by you. One of the most impressive things you can actually do. And it takes so little practice and effort to make this thing actually happen. Now there was a little ending lick that was at the end of this. Okay, after there was a type of thing. I'll show you that real quick. All that was on your D string. On your D string at the 5th fret. I'm just actually sliding up with my middle finger from like the 3rd fret up to the 5th fret. And then I hit the open G string. Okay? Now every other note from here on out is going to be your open G string. So we're going to go Okay, so you're going from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret on the D string, then open G string, okay, then your 2nd fret on your D string, the open G string, open D string. Okay, so you've got once again. So you're just letting everything ring. From there, you've got one more little big fun trick to do, which is on your open A, while that's still ringing, type of thing. Okay, so what we got there is on the open A string, you play that, then you hammer on, which means to slam your finger onto that 2nd fret. Then you hammer on again, so middle finger, ring finger, 2nd fret, 3rd fret on the A string. That'll take some getting used to. It's exactly opposite of the pull-offs. Now you're hammering on. I'm only picking it once. See? Okay, so you've got, and we hit the open G again. And while all that's still ringing, just the G note, 3rd fret on your low E string. Once again, in its entirety, very slowly. Okay, once again. Okay, I'm going to give it to you one last time because it's such a cool lick. Okay, so with everything we've got okay, from a far away view you can see it. Sorry, I don't have the ability to do all this split screen stuff, otherwise this thing would cost you a lot more. So I do with what I can. Okay, now that's just a very cool lick. Now what we're going to tackle now is something I promised you we would do. Here's also some easy stuff. Some of this stuff was explained in the first video, the acoustic guitar beyond the basics, but we're going to expand on it. And that's where I was telling you we were doing the, if you were playing C and you wanted to do some licks, you already know how to, from that video, and do all these kind of things here. I also showed you in that video how to do a C like this, and how to do so we went through that on the first one. What we're going to be doing here, if you guys are getting lost, you need to go back and get that first video. Okay, now we're going to expand on that. What we're going to do is, if you're playing in C, and we're going to be able to do this in every key there is, okay, we need to find our C on our high E string. Those that have been with me from the beginning know how to do this. If you're playing your C chord, it's by playing your D, G, and B string at the 5th fret. And you know that if you put your pinky here from that scale we learned earlier. Okay, now where your pinky is your C note. You also have one right in the middle on your G string, right here. So you've got two of them. Okay, so what we're going to do now is work on where that pinky is. Memorize where your pinky is. It's right here on the 8th fret. Okay, now what we're going to do is cover that with one finger. We're going to cover the E string and the B string. So both strings with one finger. And it's your number 1 finger. That's right, your index finger. What we're going to do is slide that. We're going to only pick this one time. and we're going to slide it up to the 10th fret, and then we're going to bring it back down to the 8th fret, all with one pick. All we do is pick at one time. Okay? So that's a matter of some more practice. But there's going to be a lot of this kind of thing in this video, where you pick one time and a lot of other things happen. Okay, now here's what we're actually going to be working on, so you know what we're doing. We're playing in C. Now this little lick is just going to be is what we're going to do. So there's a lot of that going on. So now what we've actually got is, okay, we are here at the 8th fret. We play it one time, slide it up to the 10th and back to the 8th. Okay, so that's all it is. You play it one time with your pick. Okay, now our next thing we do is basically get back in that C position, that 5th fret thing, because that's where we're going to want to stay at. We're going to want to work off of this. Now we have this. From there, we take our middle finger, put it on the 6th fret of the B string. And our ring finger is going to be on your G string here on the dot on the 7th fret. Okay? So now all we're looking at is actually, we used this as home base, our C, to build this. Before we had did a chord like this to show you how to get from C to F. But now all we're doing actually now is just bringing that one down. So once again we have our middle finger on the 6th fret, our ring finger on the 7th fret here on the G string, 6th fret on the B string. Okay, and we just use this for a point of reference. So we're actually looking at just these two. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take it from there and go. Again, you're only picking it once. I'll back up so you can see the whole thing. So you're doing 2 frets with it. Like your fingers are glued together, they cannot separate. So you've got this. Okay, once again. And then we actually go back to our C chord. Okay, so you're playing in C. And you, right when you hit that C there, you can just jump back into regular C, however you want to do it. So it's all totally valid. And also, mess around with that. Every single thing I show you, mess with it. There's more tricks inside of it. I don't have time to show you every single thing in them, but I will show you what I mean. Just from that, don't always pick both strings at the same time. You can do in and out, just play one string. Okay, if you just did it one finger at a time. You know, do that. There's ways to figure that out. So, mess around with the things. You can go like this. That was nothing but just this, nothing but those. Okay? There's so many songs, you know, that use just that kind of thing. There's so much to be had in there. Use your imagination. You are going to be your best teacher, not me. Okay? So mess around with what I show you today. Every little thing. Don't take nothing for granted. There's more in there than what I am showing you. So if you have that. So those are just the notes that you can use. But you can use these in so many ways. That's all the same thing. Just a matter of how you play it. was mixed in with stuff from the first tape. Okay, so from the first video. So you've got tons of stuff here to work on. If you were going to do that in the key of A, same thing. You've got your A here. How do you find that? You do your... By now you figure out how far that stretch is. It's 3 frets up from wherever you're holding your chord. It's always going to be that. So now you've got... So whatever key you want to do it in, it's always going to be the same thing. Almost makes me want to stand back and go, you know, you could do Mexican flavoring stuff with that stuff. It's cool stuff. You consider. Ole, okay, so enough on that. Play around with that. That is an ultimate cool must-have lick. Okay? Now what we're going to switch to now is full bar chords. Okay, these are going to hurt those of you who do not know them, but these are a must. Okay, I'm going to start in the key of A because your frets get closer together as they come up. If we're playing way down here, it's really going to hurt. Okay, for a full entire bar chord, we're going to go up to the A on your low E string, which is going to be your 5th fret. Okay, with your first finger. Now the thing is, here's what's going to happen. Okay, see your nut right here on your guitar? That's what it's called if I haven't explained it to you before. We are actually taking this, pretending this finger is that. That's where your guitar starts. We're taking that all the way up to the 5th fret. Now what your finger's going to have to do, that first finger, is cover every single string, all 6 strings. Okay? And the only other thing now we have to do is, I'm going to make it easy on you. You guys know your E chord. Okay? You play it like this, but without your pinky, right? And you already know your E chord. What we're doing is going up to the 5th fret, with that one finger across all strings, and then we're going to build that same looking E chord in front of it. We're pretending our finger is that nut. No longer look at your finger as a finger. You look at it as that nut, and you build that E string, or the E chord. Right now, try to build an E chord without using your first finger. Same chord, but do it without it. You have to do this if you get rid of it. Okay, your pinky is underneath your ring finger. So that's what we're going to do. So if you could do it that way, put your finger on top of that nut, the one we're not using, and then we just take this whole thing and move it up to the 5th fret. So now you have 5th fret with your first finger, you got 7th fret with your ring finger, 7th fret with your pinky, 6th fret with your middle finger, and now your first finger is still covering the 5th fret on the B and E string. So all together, that's going to take a while for you to get used to. We cannot have any dead spots where your other fingers are touching something. That's the way it's going to sound when you first try it. But you got to get all your fingers arched enough. I'm going to show you the chord at whatever angle I can do to make this happen for you. Okay? I don't see if we can see it there. The fingers have to be extremely arched so that other traffic, being our strings, can pass underneath our fingers. Because what happens is your strings, if one finger is not arched up enough, it stops the other string from ringing. So everything has to be extremely arched. Can you see it from here? I'm going to take off my first finger. There's how arched everything is. Everything has to be able to pass underneath it. Okay? So there's a good close-up to show you how those bottom 2 strings have to miss your fingers. Then I'm just putting this on to finish it up. Okay, so that's our A chord. Now if you take the whole thing down this way, to G. There's a G chord. There's an A chord. There's a B chord. Up one more fret, C chord. Up two more, there's a D chord. That's one you can play everywhere. If you don't want to play a regular F like this, you want it to sound bigger. F is one of the weakest sounding chords because it has no bottom strings to give it any bass. So now that you know, like this A chord, this bar chord, there's G. Take it all the way down to here. There's your big sounding F chord. You can't get that out of a regular F chord. It's like wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Hefty, hefty, hefty. You know, so we have to concentrate on these. We're going to do a lot more with them right now. Okay? What we're going to do is utilize our pinky. Okay? And we're going to utilize our middle finger. So our pinky and our middle finger are the ones that we can actually move. Okay? I want to concentrate on your middle finger first. We're going to do more hammer-ons, which means you've got this A chord here. I'm going to play just the G string. Take that off, put that on, take that off, put it on, middle finger. Now I want you to play it one time, and then hammer on that G string. Okay, so you have to work on getting that right, because here's what's going to happen. So I'm hitting the low string, the low E string twice, doing the hammer on the G string, playing it once, but you're hitting two notes because of the hammer on. Then the high E string, and you might even hit both the high E and the B string at the same time. Okay, down, 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 upstroke. Okay, now what we're going to do with our pinky after all this is move it way far away. We're actually going to take it all the way up to the 8th fret on the B string. Okay? That is hard, but it's worth it. This is advanced acoustic. This is where it gets tough. Now, this is where it gets tough, but after you get it, it actually becomes extremely easy, just like anything else. What we're going to go for is this. Okay, so that's what we're going for. So we've got, and then we just add and take it right back off. So pinky only sneaks in there for one note. Twice, once with the hammer on, up, down with the pinky on the 8th fret on the B string, then back up on your high E and high B string. Now that one there you should go off and spend like 5 hours on working on that thing, because it might take you that long to get it right. Try it all kinds of places. Take it down to G, where it gets further apart. Okay, while we are on this, we are going to now, like I said, pause this thing and go get that thing right, and then come back to this. We are going to show you now what are called 9th chords. Okay? I'm not going to explain to you why they're called 9th chords. It just takes too long. You can find that out on the internet, and all that stuff's free. That's why it's on there. Okay. We're going back into the key of A, so you're back up here at the 5th fret. We're going on the blues side one time. Okay? That's where 9th chords are generally used at. That and in country music sometimes. So there's that. Now what we're going to do is create a 9th chord. We're going to go from A to D. Now to get to a D 9th, it's played this way. We're still going to stay on the 5th fret. we're going to use our middle finger on the 5th fret of your A string. So we're getting a D note. Okay, so 5th fret of the A string. We're taking our 1st finger to the 4th fret of your D string. Now here's where we create some more of the same. It gets weird looking. Okay, now our ring finger has to cover the next 3 strings. Okay, so you're covering the G, B, and E string all with your ring finger. So you actually have in its entirety that. Okay? Now the cool thing about this is it sounds really weird right now, but you're going to see, you've heard this a million times and you love this, but nobody has ever showed you how to do this. I'm going to be the one to show you how to do it. And I'm going to show you a couple different variations of it. And here is one variation. Okay, what we're going to do is slide again with one pick movement. There's a lot of this going on in this video. Is we're going to slide this whole thing, which is basically on the 5th fret, all the way up, you guessed it, to the 7th fret and back down with only one pick movement. Okay, that will take you a long time to do, but you have to do it. If you want to play some major guitar, you have to practice this. You have to do this. No wimping out. There's no turning back. You wanted this video, you are getting it. You want to talk advanced, I'm going to throw it at you. Okay, another thing to do, and it's up to you because you are the guitar player, is go back 1 fret and slide up into it. You're still only hitting it once, but everything is glued together. So you got and, okay, everything is only picked once. So here's an example of what I'm getting into. You know, you can pick it a couple times if you want to. Check it out. Okay, that was doing it the way I showed you. We're going to slide up into it. I'm only hitting the bottom couple strings, or the A string and D string. Then, big chord, big stretch and sweep. So you're really going to have to apply some pressure here and a pressure on your thumb on the back of the neck. And what's going to happen is your fingers, kids, are going to look like raw hamburger, just like this. Okay, but that's all good. We're building up calluses. Okay, so I've got major supercallus going on, major supercalifragilistic calluses going on, but still, they're going to look like this. You're just digging into your calluses. You have to develop those so those don't hurt no more. The lines will always be there even after you've been playing for 30 years, but they won't hurt. But they're going to be there. And it's going to look like a dog just attacked your hands. But that's what you get from playing guitar. If you're a piano player, you'd have something all different. Okay, now again. Okay, so that's what you've got. And basically to complete a blues pattern, you would have 3 chords. You got your A, you got your D now, your D9. Now you've actually, if you move that all up, back to the 7th fret, there's your E9, back to D, back to A. So if you're doing an entire pattern, back to A, back up to D, back to A, up to E, slide into it, slide down to it. Okay, I know the one you're wanting Here it is. You're in the key of A still. Okay, now if you remember, we're basically, if you think of A as being up here like a D chord, okay, so we're actually looking at D down here. Okay, you're looking at this finger. Okay, so you're looking at your ring finger. That is the D note. We need to find the A note, which is all the way up here to the 10th fret. And we've got the other two fingers back there on the G and E string at the 9th frets, these two guys. But the A note. Okay, and the only thing is we're moving that A note out of the way. We're only concerned with these two fingers. And we're going to pick it like this. Your G string, and your E string, then your G string. Now we're just bringing everything one fret at a time. It's called chromatically. That's it. Okay, if you want that part. Okay, that is basically looking at an A played in an F shape, but what you're doing is taking your ring finger on the 5th fret on the G string and hitting it once, sliding it without hitting it again from the 5th to the 6th fret. Then with your middle finger on the E string, making an A. So you're hitting that once. And then we do the 9th chords from D, just walking it up from D to E. So you got from your E, you know, and depending on how it sounds, you might not get all of that. You might have to just do that and just stop with those two notes instead of, you might just, okay. So there's also, just depending on how much time there is in the phrase. So if you do have to stop that, so you stop right there. Now there's that last one little thing I got to show you. Okay, if you're back on the A, is that. Okay, you've got your A just like we did before. What you're going to do is flatten out your ring finger and hit the two middle strings, your D string and your G string, at the 7th fret. So you got twice, hitting the bottom two strings, or your top two, however you want to look at it. Flatten out your ring finger, play only the D and G string, then play the same two strings again, the D and the G string, without nothing on there, and then hammer on your middle finger where it's supposed to go there at the 6th fret on the G string. So now if you can actually take your middle finger, do a whole bunch of hammer-ons and pull-offs, it takes a while, almost sounds like a fly buzzing around the house, you get this. so that's another way of messing with that. Okay? So that's some cool stuff right there. Now, if you were actually doing the country version of the exact same thing, okay, you would do this. This is how you handle country on the acoustic. If you're doing the bar chords, the exact same thing I just showed you, we're just playing it slightly different. You play this, okay? I'm going to get back where you can see the whole thing. See? Okay, so that is one time with just the chord there on the low strings. We do our hammer on those two middle strings. Then we do a dead note where we actually stop everything. Okay? That dead note is a downstroke. And then we do an upstroke on those two middle strings with that thing flattened out again on the 7th fret. But we're only still hitting those two middle strings with our upstroke. Okay? And then we've got another dead note in there. Okay? It's just kind of a dead noise. And you can move this around if you want to go from the A all the way up to a real D, way up here at the 10th fret is where we start with this finger. Everything else is the same. Check this out. We're going to go from the A to the D. The rest you can figure out on your own. Right there is where you got the 9th chords to get you from D to E to finish up a country phrase. That's why I said you could use it in country. Okay? Now here's some other cool stuff we're going to learn. Okay, we've got this. Simple little lead guitar lines that you can use to get you in and out of stuff. We're going to do just this one for this particular lesson. Okay, we're going to go back to the key of C. We can do this anywhere, but I'm going to show it to you in C. Okay, where your C note is, your 3rd fret on your A string, we're going to start there with our first finger. And we're just going to build a simple little block of notes. You can go C, and then put your ring finger at the 5th fret on the same string. Then hit it again and slide it up to the 7th fret. I know it's starting to sound like Frere Jacques. Okay, but we're going to finish this up. So now we play it one time, slide it. Now the next one is we go down to the 5th fret on your D string. See? And the 7th fret on the D string. Okay, so your first finger, then your ring finger. 5, 7, and simple. Same thing. On the G string. 5th fret with your first finger. 7th fret with your ring finger. There's vibrato. Vibrato is something natural. If you fake it, they'll know. Here's real vibrato. Okay, and if you're trying to, you have to learn it by faking it, but yours is going to sound like this at first. Don't be discouraged, but yours will sound like this. That's not what you're looking for. You're actually doing this in order to sustain the note, which means to make the note last longer. It's not to try to create a whole bunch of wobbly sounds. By doing this, the note actually will last longer. It won't die out as quick. So, okay, that's the only little lick I want to show you for now. See, so you're playing in the C, or somebody else is playing with you in C. And you just want to add something cool. Play it backwards. Hammer-ons. Go beyond what I show you, because that is so cool. Check this out. I'm going to do nothing but those notes. That is nothing more than those notes. It's a matter of what you make out of it. Okay? Like I said, dig into these things. Don't just go by what I show you. I'm trying to show you how to expand your mind to recreate something with just these. Don't just follow the bouncing ball. So I showed you this. Those are just simple notes. If you're playing in D, find that D there. 5th fret on the A string. Do the same thing. So you're playing a D. I didn't even start here, I just started here. Okay, now here's the funny thing. Continued on from the very beginning of the acoustic guitar beyond the basics video. You know this once you get there. All we're doing is getting into that pattern that we had learned before. You can actually finish out all kinds of lead stuff from that. I just showed you a way to get back out of it. Go back to your original tape if you have it. If you don't, go get it, for God's sake. Anyway, so that teaches you how to play all that cool stuff. We're in D again. I'm going to show you an example. That's using nothing more than I've taught you. Okay, that's from the scales from the first video. If you are challenging yourself and expanding on exactly what I showed you and not doing everything note for note and letting your mind work for you, this will do all kinds of cool stuff. In the key of E, you can actually even start it down here on the open one. You're just dealing with open strings. It's the same stuff. Okay? So now what I'm going to show you is another thing that is oh so simply cool. You've got, okay, like say your E chord. Okay? Same thing we were doing before. I didn't show you this. This is exactly the same as your bar chord that you were doing all this stuff on. But instead of having to go all the way up here to do it in E, you're starting to sound like a kid's toy when you're playing right there. Play your regular E. Don't forget to do the same thing there. You can actually just drop those two fingers down. You're hammering on that note and then dropping those notes. Okay? That I showed you in the first video. Bounce on back and forth from an A chord to a D chord. If you don't remember it, go back to the first video. It's in there. Okay? So cool stuff there. Now I'm going to show you something that is extremely useful as far as all the acoustic stuff goes, and that is going to be finger picking by using these bar chords, and I'm going to show you how to get minor chords out of this. So this is going to take up the majority of the rest of the lesson here. Okay, we're going back. I'm getting rid of my guitar pick is what I'm doing here, or I'm trying to. Okay, it's gone. Finger picking time. If you did not buy the right hand finger picking video, go get it. It's there. That's what it's there for. We're going back to A. Okay. All I did is drop the pinky down one string. So that's all I'm doing. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay. Now if you want to play a minor chord, oddly enough, that exact chord, if you were to take every single thing like your fingers were glued and move it down one string, okay, there's that is a minor chord. Okay. To make this a major chord, you would actually have to take that middle finger and scoot it up to the next fret. But to make it minor, just bring that finger back where it was. Okay, and by the same token, before we get lost, if you're playing A, and you want A minor, just lift your middle finger off. A regular, A minor. A regular, A major, A minor. Here you've got D minor. There's D major, D minor, D major. But we're going to concentrate on these minors. Okay? So what we have is this. If you're in A, and you're getting ready to go next to chord, okay, so all I did is I went to what is a D flat minor. So instead of dropping it straight down, which is incorrect, if I was to drop it straight down, you would want to go major. Okay, but if I was to actually go back one, this is our third chord in a scale from 1 up to 8, you know, do, re, mi. So you're actually 1, 2, 3, and 3 chords are always 99% of the time minor, especially in a song like this, 3 chords and 6 chords. Okay, so I'm in A. It's pretty. Now I want to go to that D flat minor. I'm just using my middle finger, hammering it on, pulling it off. Okay, so that's the middle finger there on that 5th fret on the B string. So from far back, so I'm just taking that pinky down. Let's check it out from here. Yes, I'm hammering it on. And then we go down to here, to our D flat minor. If I want to go to D, you know, I could do this. But that takes moving that one finger up, because it has to be like an A chord. You could even play it that way. But anyway, that's how you do your minors, and with the finger picking, that's one of the coolest things around. Alright? Now, you have your 2 chords. So you're in the key of A again. and you're looking for another minor. How did I say to do it when we got it here? Just lift up this finger, but you don't want to do it in the key you're in. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We want to do it on 2 this time. 1, 2. So we start everything here, just like that bar chord. We've moved it up 2 frets now. But instead of doing it this, we're going to make a minor out of it by lifting our middle finger. Okay, it's a perfectly legitimate chord in this key. So now you've got A. Now we're going to go up to a B minor. Now we're going to go to that D flat minor. Now to regular D. Up to E. Now back to A. Okay? So that's basically how we get those minors working in. Use all this stuff. Okay, now folks, what it is, we're running out of time. So again, go back. I'm going to get down here where we can communicate. Work on everything. Don't take it for face value. Learn the licks like I show them to you. But then mess around with them. Even if this takes you a month to figure all this stuff out. And then I want you to make everything your own. Okay? So that's the big thing, is creativity. If you did everything like I did it, you're going to become nobody other than just a guy playing guitar in your living room, which is fine for most people. But the creativity part, you figuring stuff out on your own based on what I showed you. But you will sound out all the other stuff that we figure out. But there's all the tools, as quick as I can throw them at you, as far as doing some advanced acoustic stuff. There is so much stuff in there for your brain to chew on for a while. So anyway, work on all that stuff. Make it your own, guys. Make it your own. Really dig in there. Make that something different. Make it that. It's the same notes, but you can hear something happening. Make it happen. Use your head. I've showed you everything you can do. There's a lot more to do. There may be another video past this. But anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying these things. Take care of yourself. Don't forget the Beyond the Basics video. If you haven't got it yet, the right hand finger picking video shows all that different kind of picking on it. Go back, get those if you missed it. Anyway, I'm Scott Grove. Thanks again so much. You guys have a great time, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and work hard on this one. This here is going to make you a guitar playing fool. You know, it's really going to open up your creative juices. You guys enjoy, take care, and see you next time, okay? Bye-bye. Oh, Gene says bye. Paul says bye. Good night, folks.